Oracles of Olympus. Welcome to Oracles of Olympus, the podcast of all things in miniature wargaming, role-playing, board games, and general nerd culture, all with a taste of cynicism, sarcasm, and nerdy banter. Please join Kyle, Ryan, CJ, and GM Drew as we break down all the stuff. Hi guys, this is GM Drew, and this is the Oracles of Olympus.
We're back again.
How it's been so long.
We did. We took last week off.
We're so sorry we've been gone.
They missed us.
So out of love, so lost without
I'm
you.
busy writing songs for you.
Always.
So we were at our local gaming convention down in Denver last weekend, and we have lots of stories that came out of that. And
Most of them are cool.
right.
Not all
them
of them. There's a couple of lame.
How did you fare, Kyle?
So it was interesting.
Spoiler alert, not good.
Right, yeah, not super great. I will say, first and foremost, the folks that ran the tournament at Genghas Con, they did a really fantastic job. I think that they did a lot of cool stuff for terrain and, in tables it was really nice, well organized, which I appreciate and prompt. It was a 20-person tournament, and the biggest problem with the entire thing is we were literally 5 of the 20 people. We were a quarter of the tournament, and so it ended up being that I played 2 people that we came down with, which was sort of disappointing, and the first person I played was the one person I didn't come with, who was somebody I have played games with many times, Tony Scott. He's literally been a customer for the entire time I worked at Griffin in Fort Collins. So I probably played...
He taught me how to play.
Yeah, he taught me how to play.
40K.
18 years ago, he taught me how to play.
Yeah, 18 years ago for me too.
Yeah. So it's it was kind of a little disappointing because I've played Tony dozens and dozens of times. So I would like to have played other people. Although I can say that at least I played people who weren't dicks.
How'd you do, CJ?
Well, good.
Good and bad.
Good and bad. Bad, I just got absolutely destroyed.
CJ was my one victory.
Yeah. Kyle, if you were wondering how bad I did, Kyle beat me. I did terrible.
I'm not bad at the game.
You're not bad at the game. You just insist on playing a bad army right now.
I do. They're fun to play.
I don't disagree. They're fun, but God, are they
good.
terrible. They're
Yeah,
not
they're
good.
To be clear,
He plays Adaptus Mechanicus.
You guys
for
just
anybody
did
who's not sure.
40K, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
we just did
the
40K.
40K event.
Okay.
But I did win Best Painted.
Shocker.
So
I have to say something about that because it pisses me off, right? So it pisses me off. So he took the Thousand Suns army, which is the army we won Best Painted with. We won it at Adepticon last year, right? We were the coolest looking army. We were the bell of the ball. I took the same army to Tacticon, which is Genghas Con's sister con.
Same
run
judges,
by the same
same
people,
everything.
same judges, and they didn't even so it didn't win Best Painted in the first one, which I don't have a problem with, but they literally didn't give it points for highlighting. They're like, oh, you didn't highlight, and I'm like, there's literally no way. I can tell you the amount of hours I spent highlighting. And then they scored the exact same fucking army at Genghas Con. They're like, these look great. Look at all the highlighting. And I was like, you gotta be shitting me. You gotta be shitting me. So it was I'm happy that the army is winning more awards. It's won a few awards now.
it's won.
And I feel good about those awards.
Genghas painting at LVO.
Yeah.
It won.
It won
Armies on Parade.
Yeah, sure.
It does okay.
It does okay. It looks
It's
nice.
respectable.
But it was kind of bittersweet because I was
But
God damn it.
I did get tabled by Grey Knights, which was highly disappointing.
And for all the naysayers out there saying Grey Knights are bad, Grey Knights ended up winning that whole tournament. So
Yeah.
they're actually not bad. You just have to be a little bit more canny when you play them, and you have to,
But I can tell you, the Grey Knight players do not like their book. Oh my God!
I swear to God, every Grey Knight player I know completely just bitches about that book.
Yeah.
And I have the book. I don't think it's that bad. Are there some areas where it needs help? Yes.
So I think Shrike
But
Marines
still
are not
good.
good. I think they're overcosted, and I think their stratagems are not great.
Sure.
Other than that, I think the Dread Knights are really good. I think the Paladins are great.
Paladins are still
Drago's
great.
good.
Drago's great. Valdis is good.
Sure, they have really lame smite.
Yeah, but like at this point,
just think of it as a second shooting phase. Like,
right. I guess for me, like the way I look at it is, on your worst day as a Grey Knight player, your most basic terrible guy, quote unquote, is still a psyker who has a fucking Stormbolter and a power weapon. Mm-hmm. Like, he's still better than any tactical Marine.
He is.
Like, I think there's a lot of...
I think the problem comes with he's not as durable, so everyone you take a casualty for is going to be more painful than a normal guy taking a casualty.
I get that. I just think people don't give them enough credit for what they do get to do.
True.
How'd you do, Ryan?
I won all my games.
And you did all 40K as well?
I did all 40K, and I played the Death Guard, and...
Coincidentally, Ryan was the only one of us that didn't have to play somebody else he came with.
Yeah, I played all new people.
Every other one of us had to play somebody we came
Brand new one. I've never met these people.
Got to play some real choice opponents.
I got to play some choice opponents.
Yeah.
Better just leave them unnamed.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, my first opponent took my name down, and I think he was like, "Yeah, I like to do a recap of who I played," and I was just like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say Mike. He wasn't a bad opponent.
Yeah. No, he was good.
Sure,
he was just a little disappointed in his army.
He might. I don't think he'll talk about you on Long War, but he might.
No, I don't. I doubt it. I'm not that popular, dude. I'm not the belle of the ball. I know that. I'm like the kid who shows up and hangs by the punch bowl and is like, I guess I'll just drink punch.
Hope some girl comes and talks to me.
That's
I hope
me.
the punch is good there.
Yeah. Every time someone invites me to a dance, I'm like, man, I hope the punch is good.
I wonder if the walls are comfortable to lean on.
No, I won every game.
You're a wallflower. You're beautiful.
But thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm
building you up.
Yeah. I got a nice little manly voice. But I promise the face.
And you're just a slab of delicious muscles.
I wish we were on video, folks, so I could show you how he walks.
I don't walk like this.
It's this kind of waddle saunter where it's like one half of the body has to like lurch forward before the other half can catch up. And the arms don't go down all the way. So imagine like the arms are like there's sticks propping them up like, 8 inches out from the armpits.
See, you're painting a great picture because now I sound like a Frankenstein, like
manatee on ice.
Manatee just learning how to walk. Like you put a manatee in roller skates, and you're like, get out of there, little buddy. Like,
I was gonna go more like if a statue came to life. Like it's not sure how the arms actually work.
Awesome. Pam, you manatee.
Yeah.
He's basically Pam.
But that's how my Genghas Con went. He's
basically Pam, not the coked out.
All I did was win.
Not Cokey Pam.
And I didn't win the tournament. I didn't win best general. I didn't
You didn't come in third?
No, I didn't. Well, I came in third on battle points.
Well, I guess
so
the curse continues.
I was the third best general. I found that out. But
your best just wasn't good enough.
But I guess everybody else was just a better opponent to play because the overall I was fifth. And the painting, the painting judge hurt my feel goods.
Yeah.
I mean, really? Did she hurt your feel goods?
Yeah, she hurt my feelers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She definitely didn't hurt my feel goods. Yeah, because you took our army and got to win with it. When I took our army, they were like, no,
well,
it doesn't
to be
work.
fair, when I went last year, I had an entirely brand new army with lighted tanks.
You did put a decent bit of work into it.
And it was marked I didn't have freehand when I had written slogans on every single vehicle.
All two.
Every single vehicle.
I mean, you're not wrong. I do think that there was maybe some things that had gotten missed in the paint job.
Yeah.
On both.
So. Like I got marked for not having fine details such as pupils on eyes on an army that's 90% helmeted. And then on top of it, the ones that didn't have helmets are very visible eyes. Actually, in fact, CJ did them.
Which they were quality because they're world championship level eyes.
Yeah, see, world championship.
That we're bemoaning. I don't want to bemoan the guys.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. No. It was a fantastic.
Somebody's got to do it.
Well, it was a fantastic tournament. I had fun. The tables were great. It's just my feels got hurt. That's it.
Well, and that's the problem with paint judging, right? I've paint judged a lot of events. And
you're always going to be under the microscope if you paint.
You are, and people put their heart and soul into painting, or a ton of money, either or, and they are going to sometimes both. And they're not always going to agree with how you judge it. And I think that's the nature. I mean, in the essence, right, we're doing art. Some people love a Picasso, some people hate it.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Rembrandt guy myself.
See, some people love Rembrandt, some don't like it. So, I mean, maybe they're savages, but they still, I guess, their choice is valid.
I'm a Seuss guy.
Seuss?
Yeah. Dr. Seuss.
Dr.
Fucking
Seuss.
animal.
But the point is, essentially, every single person that looks at your models is going to have a slightly different opinion on what was good, what's
Oh, I
bad,
know.
what they
I
like, what they
agree.
don't like.
I agree.
And rarely are you go because I've definitely been judged at multiple events where I'm like, what were they blind? Like, so
Don't you know talent when you see
No,
it?
not at all.
I was like, I'm sorry
wasn't
you don't know quality.
There were a lot of things that I got marked down for, and I was like, that's fair. That's true.
How was your Genghis, GM Drew?
Here we go.
GM Drew
Regale us.
had the full experience. You were there, what, 3 days, 4 days?
A
year?
Went down on a year. By Sunday afternoon, it felt like a year. No, we went down on Thursday, and I role played.
Did you have events on Thursday?
What's that?
Did you have events on Thursday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a game every Thursday at 7 for the Denver Con.
See, I like to go to a con a day early too, but I just do like Jack and Crack Day. You know? Yeah, like a little crack cocaine, a little Jack Daniels. You
Yeah,
know,
well,
get a little loose.
we got there about
I thought
3, so we could.
No, not that kind of Jack and Crack.
Okay.
No, but we have a standing Star Wars role-playing game on the Thursdays of the Denver Cons. My friend Donnie runs them, and it's about, I think it's the only time twice a year I get to play Star Wars role-playing game. So that was fun. We started with that, and then I did role-playing, I think, every event except one. We did play some Betrayal at House on the Hill for just a break.
Yeah.
And
Did you play like the regular Betrayal, or did you play the cool D&D one?
We played the regular one with the expansion.
See, opportunity missed, because I feel like you should play the D&D one, because it could have been role-playing and a board game.
See, and you should see the characters we got to play board games with down
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Is it special?
Are there like
Yeah.
super... Like, okay, so for what's worth, CJ and I have both been to Genghis and Tacticon multiple times. Many times over the past years. But I don't think I've never gone for anything other than minis.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah. What's it like, Drew? What's the other side like? Tell us. Are there... Because there's a lot of interesting characters there.
There are.
Like,
There's some interesting folks.
Yeah, the whole
So-
thing overall seems like it's gone more towards... Like, it tries to
I feel
feel a
it's
little
moved
more
away from minis,
con-esque.
yeah.
It's a little less minis, a little more like board gamesy role-playing, and like
LARPing,
cosplaying.
cosplay.
Granted,
There was a lot of cosplay.
There was a lot of... You know, the best part for me was the stars. The stars were there from Resident Evil. They were being tactical.
They're there every year, and
Yeah.
they are the quote security.
Quote security,
They-
because the hotel actually has security, just in
Right.
case you're wondering.
That
Yeah.
a few
But it
years
also has a
ago-
bunch of
But
dudes
these are
dressed up in
auxiliary
like.
security.
These guys,
Yeah.
they take themselves so seriously. At least the one guy, he was walking around making sure if you were playing a game that not only you had your badge on, that it was flipped around and made sure it was readable.
See,
That's
and
the
I
kind of
specifically,
security Resident Evil needed. To
right?
stop
I
zombies.
specifically took my badge and like did not wear it around my neck for
Yeah.
exactly that reason.
Yeah, I didn't
get
wear the
tackled and
badge
shot with
like
Nerf
at all.
guns.
Right, shot up with Nerf guns.
But I did notice they got like primo parking though.
I bet because
They got almost valet parking right up front, so it pays to be in stars.
It's like they're going to chase someone down in an Umbrella Corp car.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna like verbally reprimand you because
Yeah.
they can't actually touch you.
Yeah.
So you ask about what Genghis is like outside of the wargaming, and I originally started going just for D&D. I was really involved in the RPGA, and then I did Pathfinder there for a
Does
while.
the RPGA still run things at Genghis?
No, it's all Adventure League now.
Gotcha. Okay.
So what drew me in is there's an organization in Denver called the Rocky Mountain Savages, and they're a group that supports and plays Savage Worlds,
Which is a fantastic RPG if you haven't played
it's
it.
a great game.
Highly recommend.
And it has some of the best GMs that I've played with have been Savage Worlds GMs playing in Denver.
I think it's an attractive system for experienced GMs too.
Well,
Like you can do a lot with it. It's a good template.
for those of you who don't know what Savage Worlds is, it's just a generic set of rules that people can lay any type of campaign setting on top of, and it's I've played all the way from fantasy to superheroes.
It's a good template. It's less about the rules. It's not very crunchy. It's more about the RP.
And one thing I noticed, this is a term I learned, table glitter. Savage Worlds DMs are all about table glitter.
What the hell does that mean?
So
is it like regular stripper dust or
it's
craft
better?
trophies?
It's better. No, so I'm really into like maps and miniatures and all this stuff. Well, Savage Worlds players take a step up, and they have a thing called bennies. It's basically poker chips that give out.
Yep.
And
bennies is like the best part of Savage Worlds.
One of the guys was talking about one of the bennies that he sat down with were actually 8-track cassette tapes that they had themed to the story that they were playing.
That's interesting.
So that kind of stuff, that kind of like just toys and knickknacks and stuff, is called table glitter.
Table glitter.
So
first I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, I've never heard of that either.
So
that's cool though.
Not only is there this Rocky Mountain Savages group, but also the guy who developed and invented Savage Worlds goes to Genghas every year. His name's Shane Hensley. And he's there just to play games. He's not there running. He's not there pushing product. He just comes because the community of Savage Worlds is so popular there.
Right.
So,
on some level, like, just by being there, he's pushing product, though. Like, he's not actively doing it, I'm sure, but, like...
Well, I mean, he's not
manning a booth. You can't not want to, like...
He's not manning
meet the guy who makes the game.
Pinnacle Entertainment isn't there doing a bunch of promo stuff. He's fair. Just there.
Just likes the game.
Clint and Jody Black have been there in the past. They're they're co-creators of Savage Worlds as well. So that's really, when I learned about them, that sucked me away from the Pathfinder and D&D world and pulled me into that group of people that they're just good people. They're good gamers. They're mature gamers.
Don't see that very often.
I know. So what else did I do? I did play an 8-hour session of D&D.
That is a hefty amount of D&D. That is like, haven't done it since high school, fueled on Mountain Dew levels of
And we went through the classic Tomb of Horrors module. And it was all, the guy had made all the terrain 3D, custom.
Pretty impressive. So did he use Dungeon or Dwarven Forge?
He did not. It was all, it was all some sort of cardboard. And then he covered it in some sort of material that was hardened, almost like an epoxy or a plastic or some sort. He had doors, he had pit traps, he had the iconic demon with the mouth open art that sat down there, and you could choose to go through the portal with mist or go through the monster's mouth, which I will not give you any spoilers on which ones you should choose nor which ones we chose. But the best part is he sat down and he was dressed as a pirate.
All right.
This DM was into it.
I can dig that. I can definitely appreciate
pirate
that.
in D&D, and there's no pirates in this thing, but he was a pirate. So
yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember there being pirates in Tomb of Horrors, but I still appreciate that he's like, I'm gonna dress up and be whimsical as fuck. Like, I'm gonna get my whimsy on.
He was great.
How many times did you guys die in the tomb?
Well, here's the thing. I think he wanted to see us make it through this thing. I think we should have died probably twice before the end. He did do a major wish spell, and one of us survived that was able to reincarnate. The rest of us kind of sort of, I don't really remember how it happened, but we should have died. Basically, we put the key in the keyhole to open the door, and the floor, as soon as you put it in there, the floor starts shifting up and to smash you into the ceiling. On initiative count 10, you all die. And me and one other guy were the only ones who got above a 10. So we managed to survive. Everybody else was crushed to death. So we had a gem that had was an aura of wish spell about it. So we we performed a wish on this to wish our companions back to life. Well, that happened to have a curse.
I had a wish for some kick-ass armor instead, though.
And 15 seconds later, we were all dead. But somehow a genie came and brought us back to life.
So your DM was just being nice.
He was nice. I think he wanted us to kill the lich that's in the bottom of that thing. So I played another game called NM159, which is a very rules-light storyteller role-playing game. And I like to call them hippity-dippity games. And Wendell Reichel, she actually ran it for us. Hi, Wendy. She is involved in this game as well as riding the new Warhammer 40K.
Which is why Wendy is my hero.
Right.
Yeah.
Wendy's pretty awesome. Really interesting concept. It's exhausting to play a game where you really have to think on the top of your feet the whole 4 hours that you're playing a game. But it's very memorable. We got into some 7-layer deep Inception type dream shit that I don't know how we got out of, but somehow we did. Anyway, that was fun to play that, and a lot of role playing. I got my fill of it.
You're good for a bit.
I am.
It's been a week basically, and there's still like an exhausted look on GM Drew's face.
Yeah, well, Sunday we were going to play Starfinder all day, and we decided that one was enough and came home early. But it was a good time. It's the cons that I get to actually play and not have to run a game, so I try to get in as much as I can.
That's fair.
So, a lot of Genghas. That's what we were all doing last week.
Yeah.
So much Genghas.
We're going to do a little bit different format this week, just because it's coming back from that and missing a week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So
We do.
Let's talk a little bit about miniatures this week.
We should talk about new releases, right? Are there any new releases?
This week's new releases, yeah, we can definitely chat about that really quick.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of new, right? So we got the Star Collecting Stormcast Eternals Good Stuff box. We got Neve Black Talon in blister.
Yep.
And we got Star Collecting Quadrant Overlords.
The slightly better stuff.
It is all the good stuff you would want out of Quadrant Overlords.
Yeah.
Just that they're still Quadrant Overlords, so you
folks,
take that grain of salt.
Kyle and I have been playing Quadrants for the last couple weeks, testing them, and
I don't know if I would
trash.
call it playing. I think we've been putting them on a table and just getting mown down.
We have.
Like,
you pull them off.
Yeah, right. Like, they're really like, it's like you set them up. So I guess
Who
the way
designed the Quadrant Overlords?
Right, I don't know.
If you're listening to this, we'd love to have you on the show to explain your thinking behind designing them.
Right, or just the points cost even.
I don't get it.
So it's like, if you were a general, like, let's just say I am Lord Nelson at Waterloo, and I've got my army, right, and I set it up. And every time I play with my Lord Nelson at Waterloo army, I feel like I'm playing against...
Wellington.
Sorry.
Nelson was the admiral.
Sorry, yeah, right. I'm thinking of... Yes, correct. My history is off. It is Wellington.
Yep.
Not Nelson.
Yeah,
Duke of Wellington.
Duke of Wellington.
But I feel like my opponent is always fucking like storming Norman Schwarzkopf with like thunder and like shock and awe. There's a 6-day bombing campaign. Like there's like 3 months of just bombing the shit out of my army, and then
17 of my free company ran this turn.
Yeah, right. And then here comes some Abrams and a couple squads of dudes with automatic weapons, and it's just shit is falling apart by the time they get there. Like it is.
You were
literally
Saddam Hussein trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, no, you're not even, because at least he has modern weapons. At least he has modern weapons. You're definitely you've got flintlock muskets against the ubiquitous M16.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Yeah, shocker here, but the M16 beats the musket every time.
So. We had the Orlocks are out now for Necromunda.
Yeah, the Orlocks are out. They did come out. They look really, really saucy.
They were gone before I could even see them.
We got more back in stock.
We have more in stock. Yeah,
very cool.
So come on down, GM Drew.
Come on in.
Check out them Orlocks.
Let's see. We got 2 new starter gang or warbands for
We did,
Shadespire.
We got the Chosen Axes and Spike Claws something.
So Skaven and Fire Slayers.
Yeah, Skaven and Fire Slayers. Really, the Fire Slayers are the ones.
And we have been playing...
We've been playing a lot of Shadespire lately, actually.
Yeah. Shadespire. Let's come back and we'll do a Shadespire.
Turns out we'll come back to that.
Spoilers, folks. Shadespire's really good.
Yeah.
What else do we have new? Anything else new?
That's all the new stuff that's come out.
We've got a lot of new board games at Olympus, so if you haven't seen our new board game selection, come check it out because we've got a bunch.
There's a ton of new board games.
Yeah. What do you think are some of the standouts, GM Drew? You're a board game geek.
So a lot of them I saw walk out the door already.
Yeah.
So
there's still a decent few of the new ones.
We did a Stuffed Fables showcase this last week. We had several copies come in, and I think we're down to 1.
No, I think we're sold out now.
I think we did sell.
I sold one yesterday.
So we're out of those, but really, really great game. We actually sat down and played it, and it's a really cute game. If you got kids, even if you've got 7-8-year-old kids, this is a great
boys and girls both.
Boys and girls both. you're telling a story. It's a role playing game almost in a box. You're telling a story.
I feel like this is like a recurring theme we talk about often.
I know, but it's finally
Role-playing
out.
game in a box.
It'll be
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, right.
What for folks who don't know? What's the premise and why is it good?
So the premise is, the story is a little girl is being taken from her baby crib and put into her big girl bed, right? And the baby crib had all kinds of magical powers that were able to protect her from the bad stuff that happened in the night. So when
Always
she's
worries
moved,
me too.
right? So when the
Anytime I hang out with
when they
CJ,
move her to the
X-Men
big
in
girl
New
bed,
Orleans, baby.
her stuffed animals come to life at night
Okay.
and protect her against the darkness that's happening. There's almost Toy Story looking creatures that come out and try to steal her blanket
Like
away.
creepy, like baby head monster. Kind of.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Gross.
Yeah.
That
So
would terrify me if I woke up and it's just like staring at me.
That's in fact why I have a shotgun for home defense. Any baby head monster rolling in my room, it's getting some buckshot. Yeah.
Chicken.
So anyway, there's 7 stories within the game, and the game is actually played on the storybook. As you turn the pages become the game board, where you have these cute little miniatures that you move around on the game board and complete objectives and kill monsters and whatever it calls for. And then as you progress through each of the encounters, you turn the page. There's new stuff to do, and there's a new story. So,
What's the gameplay like? Is it
if you've ever played Mice and Mystics,
I haven't.
it's
It's a really good game.
Yeah. It's miniatures-esque. It's very visual.
Okay.
It does look like a really visually appealing game.
Very much so.
Yeah.
The miniatures are cute.
Yeah.
I think my kids were gonna paint theirs up, and it's fun to give it little voices because the story reads like a storybook.
Okay.
And then you're just moving around on a board.
So it sounds like it's just a unique, fun game.
Yeah. Mice and Mystics is the closest thing I've ever played to this.
Okay.
And it's by the same company. So yeah, we showcased it. Everybody loved it. The one criticism I heard about it is that it is 7 stories, and after 7 stories,
It's done.
It's done.
I'm
However,
sure there'll be a refresher pack.
they are also releasing free stories
That's
on
cool.
their website. Plus, depending on what happens throughout the individual chapters that you're working on, you could end up in a different place, or the story could end different. The girl wakes up. So it's a choose your own way adventure type thing. So I don't know what people are talking about. There's plenty of replayability on this game.
What else do we have today?
If we're done talking gaming, we've got some pop culture stuff that we want to talk about.
I have a lot of pop culture stuff I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So before I
have
unleash
some
Kyle,
too.
he's playing a new video game that
So good.
he's been rambling on and on about.
It's so good, it's worth the ramble. Trust me.
But
You'll enjoy it.
a couple of us are watching Altered Carbon. as
Yeah.
well.
Yes,
Oh
I
my
started it.
God.
It's really good.
So awesome.
Definitely not a
great.
show for kids.
No, don't watch with anybody.
Boobies.
Okay,
There's
hold
a
on,
lot of
what's-
boobs in it.
A lot of
the
boobs
show
and there's some
about?
full
Okay,
on.
all right. Yeah,
Because
we'll
I think I'm
shots.
the only one here who hasn't watched
You're a
it.
heathen.
Hey, hold up. I'm still finishing Travelers.
Which is a phenomenal show too. Get on
Right.
the level. Like you just need to watch more shows.
I'm sorry.
hey, sleep when you're dead, buddy. All right, so here's how the show kind of breaks down the premise of it. Now I try to leave some spoilers out here, but essentially in the future, this is set way in the future. Humans are frequently re-sleeved, and what I mean by that is all of the things that make you are stored on basically a big computer chip that is in the base of your spine, right? And they call that your stack. And what happens is if your body ever dies, they can pull your stack and put it into a new body, re-sleeving you. They call bodies sleeves. The only way to really kill someone is to destroy the stack, basically shooting them in the back of the neck. So,
Yeah.
Or pull it out and stomp on it.
right, pull it out and stomp on it. That's a thing that might happen.
Yeah.
So there's this guy. His name is Takeshi Kovacs, and he's like kind of the way the story paints him is he's a terrorist, right?
Yeah.
He
was in prison
some
on ice for
real
like
bad
250
shit.
years.
Yeah, they ice him for 250 years.
Basically, they pull his stack out, and it's just literally kept in. I imagine just like a government locker.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
you just
I think it's in a
yeah.
manila envelope.
Yeah.
So they pull him. They put him in. Basically, this rich guy buys him essentially and puts him into like a super upgraded combat sleeve with like I don't know, muscles and just badass shit. I guess. I don't know.
Well, he's a white guy too.
Staggering. Yeah, he's a white guy now. Yeah, so right. So that's the interesting because he's Asian.
Yeah.
Right? And they put him in a white guy body. Like it seems like there's a lot of that. Like a lot of people are like, oh, this is like my 15th body, and it's just it's a different color every time.
I'm gonna try Mexican this time.
Right, like I'm gonna beat everybody.
Right.
There's even a really fun scene later on where like there is this one like Spanish grandma, someone's abuela, and they put her into like a neo-Nazi. So it's like, oh, this is my abuela, and she's like got like 88 tattoos and swastikas. It's really funny.
In that first episode when they were the girl,
The old
parents-
like
yeah,
methed out looking woman comes out.
yeah, the parents are
Yeah.
like, "What did you put our daughter in?"
Yeah. They put like
She
a 7-year-old
died.
girl in
Sorry,
like
that's
an
all we
80-year-old
had.
methed out lady body.
They're like, sorry, this is all that was available. You don't like it, you can put her back out.
Yeah, you could buy her a new one, whatever. It was really funny. So like, basically this guy buys him and he's like, I want you to solve a murder. It was my murder. I was fully killed, but I have like a remote download, so I wasn't fully killed kind of thing. It's really interesting. It's a really cool cyberpunk, just really high speed, almost like crime thriller, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi
it's
crime.
really good.
You know what? It has a feel like a little bit like Blade Runner.
It's got it's the real like cyberpunky like it's like Blade Runner kind of Shadowrun without the fantasy creatures in it sort of feel to it, and it is really really good.
It is really
There's
good.
lots of badass guns and like cool sci-fi gadgets and tech and hover cars and it's so good. There's lots of like really over the top rich people doing crazy rich people shit like. There's like a cool there's like a dinner party at one point and they're like, yeah, we have these two people who are gonna fist fight to the death, but not real death, just sleeve death.
Yeah.
And whichever one wins will upgrade that person into a better sleeve, but the loser gets downgraded into a crappier, uglier sleeve. It's like, what? This is phenomenal. Like, I love the weird eccentricities that rich people like. If rich people can live forever, they're gonna get into some real weird shit.
Yep.
Like, they're just gonna start doing creepy stuff. It's a fantastic show. I highly recommend watching it. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Ugh, so good.
So let's unleash Kyle on Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Oh my god, Kingdom Come Deliverance. Seriously, go buy it. You're welcome in advance. It is fantastic. So, Kingdom Come Deliverance is a medieval RPG where you are playing a young blacksmith's son by the name of Henry in Bohemia, which, if you're not familiar with old Holy Roman Empire geography, Bohemia is basically modern day like Czech Republic. So like Prague, Sasau, places like that. So yeah, you're like it's really cool, right? Let me just kind of explain the basic premise. But there's a really big event that happens in the opening scenes of the game, and some bad men's hurt a bunch of people in your town, and they basically burn the whole place down and kill pretty much everybody. And you're sort of trying to find this one bandit who was in the attack on your hometown and who stole something from you.
So wait, this is a combat game.
It is a combat game, yeah.
Like when you said you're a blacksmith's son, I just totally thought like the whole game is you just like make swords and disappoint your father. Like that is the whole.
Do you
game.
get to do both of those things? You do get to do both of those things. I haven't done any blacksmithing since the attack on the village.
Yeah.
It is an option I could go do, but I've been too busy being a feudal warlord.
That's a much
riding
more fun
down
game.
innocent civilians on the roads.
He's actually a feudal terrorist.
more or less. Literally, it's really interesting. The game's really well done. There's a lot of really cool dialogue in it, and I like as a cool like little aside, I was on the road the other night and I stop and there's literally a guy crouched over a dead woman in the middle of the road and he's basically robbing her, and I got off the horse and I was like, what are you doing? And the guy accused me of killing her, and so I accused him back, and like we basically stand there accusing each other for like 10 minutes. I'm doing like going in this loop with this guy accusing each other of murdering this woman, which I didn't do. I know he did. And he's like, I'm gonna go report you to the town guard. Well, unfortunately for him, he only had basically his Chevrolet legs to carry him to the town guard. I have a horse, Mr. Pebbles, and I just got on Mr. Pebbles. I rode that poor villager down because he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel too bad. But I killed him. I killed him real bad. I just smacked him right upside the back of the head with my sword. Done. Nailed it. But like I've run into since even that I've run into several other people on the road who have gotten to confess. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, I didn't mean to kill this person. I was just gonna rob him, but I killed him. And like every time, basically, you can be like, I'm gonna report you to the guard, or you can be like, all right, I'm not gonna report you to the guard if you pay me money. So obviously, I always choose the I'm not gonna report you to the guard if you pay me money thing, and then I just kill them anyway. I'm judge, jury, and executioner. Like I'm like, I have a horse and I have a sword, therefore I'm above you in feudal society. So I will make the laws here. So like I get them to pay me. They think they're going scot-free. They start walking down their own, and I just whoosh, right in the back of the head. It's a super good game. But the cool thing about the game, the reason I really want to recommend it to people is not just for the story, which the story is fantastic, but it's actually the combat in the game. It's really, really unique. So it's tough, but it's really rewarding when you can kind of master it. In the game, when you are looking at an opponent, you get like a little overlay on the opponent, and basically it's a star, right? So there's a line at the top of the opponent, one on either side of the opponent, and one on either side slanted downwards, and that's literally where your sword is going to come from. So you actually, with your mouse, are putting it in these different positions. So every time you attack, you're trying to not just attack like, it's not just like Oblivion where you're like just swinging a sword, like normal. You're actually choosing the direction your sword's coming from, and you're choosing how hard you want to swing your sword. And you literally are trying to like, basically counter wherever their sword is, right? So like if they have their sword on this, the left side of their body, you're trying to put yours on the left side or the right side of your body, depending on how you want to attack. And it's really cool because you actually try to like chain combos in. There's actual feints, there's dodging. It's like it's really an epic combat system. So if you like a good medieval hack and slash, this is a really cool way to do it. I think it's possibly the most addicting RPG I've played in years. I mean, I'm a big RPG guy. I love like Skyrim. I love anything Bethesda makes. I eat it up. But I love a lot of other RPGs too. This one right now, I think is probably the best one I've seen. Yeah, and it's a historical setting, so it's just all humans. There's no crazy magic or anything like that, which isn't a bad thing. In my opinion, I think it's kind of cool. It really kind of focuses the game in on just kind of really living this character Henry's story, and it's really interesting. The most unique part about the entire game is how they let you solve problems, because there's no one way to solve a problem, and every time you do something, it's completely up to you. It's very open-ended. So like for instance, the first thing you're going to do in the game is your father the blacksmith is going to send you to collect payment for some tools he sold to someone, right? And you either need to get the tools back or you need to get payment. And you go and talk to this guy, and he's like a total drunk bum. He's not going to pay you. But your options are really, really varied, right? You find out the guy's not going to pay you, and you have lots of different ways you can go about getting the tools. Like, you could go, because basically you're supposed to get the tools so you can get money to buy some coal for the forge. You could just steal the tools from him. You could beat the crap out of the guy and threaten him until he literally gives you the keys to take whatever you want. You could go talk to your friends, and your friends will help you convince him to give you the tools. You can show the guy some charity to get kind of warm him up essentially, or you could just run around the town like doing odd jobs to get the money, or you could just start robbing random people in the town to get the money. You could totally go rob the actual coal. Like there's lots and lots of choices, and like every single thing you do in the game, you're presented with like this kind of myriad of choices on how to handle all the different problems. It's really, really interesting. And I really appreciate the time and depth that is in this game. Like there's a lot of really unique stuff. So if you're a fan, it's on console, it's also on PC. I recommend playing it on PC because I think it's going to be better. But I highly, highly recommend you get Kingdom Come Deliverance and try it. I'm like 14 hours into the game already, and it is addicting. Phenomenal game.
It's interesting. I was reading here a little bit about the gameplay, and it says during conversations, the time a player has to make a decision is limited.
Yeah, right. So not always.
It's
not
like
always.
A clock that ticks
there
down.
is. Yeah, only on certain things, right? Like so, most conversations, if they're not like imminent, like crazy important conversations, you can just take your time. You can make whatever choice you want because you're gonna have like 3 or 4 options. But there are like actual story point conversations where you do have limited time to choose an option. So you can't just sit there and hem and haw over what you're going to do. And there'll be multiple things too. Like your character, as you build your character, you're going to be building on like how strong is your character, how charismatic is your character, how much vitality do you have, like what are your different knowledges and skills. And when you have those different things, they'll actually open up different dialogue options that'll let you do different things. So like you can, like when I was talking about, getting the tools back from that guy, like if you're just a really brute strong character, you can possibly just intimidate the guy into giving you the stuff. Or if you're really, if you've got like a lot of heart and you're like a really, kind of fuzzy, warm, caring character, you can appeal to his, emotional side essentially and convince him to give you things. So it's really interesting how they do that. And it is cool because the game is kind of the challenging part of the game is you can't just save anytime you want. Like a normal RPG, you could just go, I don't know if I want this conversation to go this way. Boop, I'm going to save. In this game, it saves for you at certain points throughout the story, and then you can save on your own about once a day, or you can buy schnapps. There's lots of cool... You have to eat and drink. It's a survival game, too. Like, if you don't eat, you'll eventually starve to death and die. If you don't sleep, you'll die. Like, things like that. You can get schnapps. There's a certain kind of schnapps called the Savior Schnapps, which lets you save the game. But it's like really expensive, so you can't really, you can't just basically use it all the time. And everything's got cooldowns on like saving and stuff. So the game does like really
some real accountability.
There is a lot of real accountability. Yeah, like all your choices really, really matter. But it's cool because even when you make bad choices, like I've definitely made choices I regret in the game. But it's interesting because it shapes how the game plays. And the other thing I thought was really neat was like quests don't wait on you. Like it's not like you can go, I'm going to start this quest and get back to it in like 300 hours of gameplay later. Like things will happen whether you're doing them or not. Like the characters in the game are constantly doing whatever it is they're doing normally. So like
really
if
dynamic.
it's all real time dynamic. Like if you say you're going to meet somebody, you can't just wait 6 days to meet them. Like if you told them you were going to meet them tomorrow at noon, you better be there tomorrow at noon or they're going to wait like an hour or two for you and then they're just going to be gone. That quest is going to go in a different direction. So there's a lot of completely different like random branches everything can go down. Like I've definitely skipped parts of quests accidentally, like just finding something I wasn't supposed to find ahead of time or doing things differently. Like there's a whole bunch of different stuff. It's a really interesting, very unique game. Highly recommend. 5 out of 7. Best score.
In case you didn't realize, he likes it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Sounds great. We're going to take a short pause and we will be
commercial break with real commercials.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
You need more kick-ass gear for your gaming? Come to Olympus Games and Comics. We've got awesome stuff like Dreadnoughts and Leman Russ battle tanks. Do you need to purge more heretics? Pick up a Dreadnought. Maybe you need to kick some serious ass with Primaris Marines.
All right, we're going to talk about some Shadespire.
Boy,
Go.
just doing that countdown. Yeah, that was nice.
What's going on with Shadespire?
Shadespire. So, okay, right. So
What is Shadespire?
Let's talk about like the
let's
7
talk
lives
about
of
what
Shadespire for us.
Shadespire,
So
if you're not familiar with what Shadespire is, it is a tactical arena miniatures game from Games Workshop. It is kind of their game built to be essentially their competitive play game.
It's a tighter play game.
Yeah, it's really, the rules are really tight. It's a really solid game, and it's kind of their direction moving forward with like competitive play.
It is, and it's I'll be honest, for us, when it started off, it didn't do well. We ordered like 20 copies.
Yeah,
and we
I went
sold
really,
like 2.
I went really deep on it. I got 20 copies of it, and we sold 2.
And it turned out the magic to getting people excited about it was them just seeing us playing it.
Yeah, right. Well, I think more than that because I played it a bit at first, and people were like, it seems kind of cool. I think it was more like more gangs needed to come out. So there's more.
I think more
war
bands had to come out.
Right.
I agree, and I think though, here's the thing: is that a lot of people would watch it and be like, it looks kind of cool. Once they play it, most of the time they're hooked and buy it.
Yeah, the game is fantastic.
It is absolutely a fantastic game.
Every
It's
little
so well
warband you can get. There's 6 warbands right now. They all play fairly differently. I'd say most of them are actually fairly unique, really.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty much a blast to play. I haven't played one of them, but I've played with all the other ones, and they're really cool.
Some are better than others, but they're all fairly well balanced.
Some are better than others.
They are. Fire Slayers might be kind of good right now.
Really, really good.
Yeah, they're
So are the Skaven.
I haven't played against the Skaven, so I have no idea what they do.
They're really good.
I'm willing to bet that I could pit my Fire Slayers against them any day.
You know what?
Kick their ass.
I play Skaven. You play Fire Slayers.
I'm down.
down.
Let's throw down right now.
All right.
This might have to happen this
we'll
afternoon.
this.
So
I'll throw it down this afternoon. Yeah.
I can't throw it down this afternoon.
That's a very Skaven way to do that.
I'll throw it down when I feel like it.
Sure.
No,
what a Skaven would say.
no, for real though.
Just what a
I'll
Skaven would say.
be streaming for the rest of the day. So
No,
you can
that seems
folks
fine.
check people out. Check Ryan out streaming.
plug.
But you're in the future, so I don't know. That just was like a time.
No, they can always they could always check me out because I'm live.
I mean,
like
when
every
this
day.
comes out, he'll be probably streaming that night.
That just
Yeah.
fucked my mind.
Yeah.
Thinking about that.
You just blew my mind with
I
the time
did.
thing.
Yeah, I did. I was like, whoa, we're stuck in a Vindaloop.
Customer service Vindaloop.
Yep. Customer service Vindaloop. No. Fuck you.
Fuck you, my friend. No.
No, don't tell me to
you.
fuck myself because you're actually telling me to fuck you.
And we've hit the soft R.
Okay. Yeah, we're now soft R
rated.
podcast.
Sorry,
parents.
We've blown our F-bomb limit for the day.
By like 7.
So
I'm making up for last week. Get off my back.
So if we're making up for last week, you could have afforded 2.
Well, it's got to be a little extra bombastic to get people happy. You know,
That's true.
you gotta-
we don't have quite the pizzazz this one. I think it's because we were in a. Kyle and I are in a donut coma, so we're not quite.
Well, so like before the show, we had a whole like. Well, first off, it's double donut day here at Oracles.
There's been a lot of Dutch crumbs.
Yeah, there have been.
They're so delicious.
So CJ
Thanks, Daylight Donuts.
Due to a minor miscommunication.
Did you say doo-doo?
He did say doo-doo. Thank you for getting that.
Did I? Oh,
said
doo-doo. Doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
I'm sticking with the doo-doo.
Yeah, doo-doo.
A minor miscommunication.
Yes, you
CJ
are.
brought donuts and Kyle brought donuts. So it was double donut day.
And that's not a problem. It's actually a celebration.
Yeah,
And then-
I don't see this as an issue.
No, here's the problem though. We had the donuts and then Drew was like, I gotta go for a minute. And then we just sat on his couch and talked, but it's a really comfy couch.
Yeah.
It did not do us any favors in the tired department.
Which
No.
is interesting. You guys stayed here, had your donut coma on my couch while I went and joined a gym.
That's
I mean,
true.
it's the same gym I already
What do
go
you want?
to.
A medal?
Maybe.
I already go to the same gym, buddy.
You got an Adepticon medal.
Drew,
I'll
I
take-
do.
I'll take that one.
No, you can't have it.
You don't want to go to my gym?
Over my dead body.
No.
My gym's a little more everyman gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's like the Globo gym, and yours is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
average
I'm
Joe.
average Joe's.
We're better than
like,
you and we know it. Is the motto of
Yeah.
Ryan's gym.
Big Swole definitely goes to Global Gym, and I definitely go to Average Joe's. Like, yeah.
Peter.
There's probably
Get
even a pirate there.
Yeah, Peter. There's definitely some interesting characters. in
Steve
my
the
gym.
pirate. Just
So,
hanging out by the locker rooms.
I go between those two. I go to Gold's. There's definitely some beef
Gold is like
there.
Global Gym Light, though.
It is Globo Gym Light.
I go, literally, my gym is a warehouse. It's a warehouse with just lots of strength equipment.
And grunting.
No cardio equipment. And there's a giant PA system where we blare just loud music as we lift.
That
You
sounds like hell.
grunt over
It's
the PA
not
system.
Yeah, I grunt hard.
Yeah.
I'm like, I grab the mic and I'm like,
I just imagine you walk in and there's
No,
just a row like old barbells, and next to that is like everybody's milk carton of water.
Right?
No.
It's like a milk jug. It's my gallon jug of water.
I just get this image
don't make
of
fun
like
of my gallon jug.
I get this image of like Globo Gym. You're like lifting and your muscles start spasming and everyone's like yeah, like just meatheads, like a Goliath gang in Necromunda.
it's an entire Goliath gang. The only thing you're
hold on.
missing is like a smelter.
We had bench press and barbecue and
It's a Goliath.
well, bench press and burgers, and he cooked burgers, and then people came in and bench pressed really, really heavy. So there was a guy.
Preferred
There was a
method
guy
of
there
killing
who,
is headbutting someone to death.
yeah. There was a guy there who bench pressed like I think it was like 560, and there was like
crap.
Yeah. They're real big dudes where I go.
Well, this was a good talk about.
I get
Shakespeare.
tired. I get tired carrying my
Shakespeare.
kitty litter to the car.
Kitty litter?
I was like,
really?
"Oh, these are heavy.
No.
I'm gonna pause on the way out. then I'm gonna go pick up my next box of donuts.
Box of donuts.
See, I had 2 donuts. See, I'm not.
So a lot of
He
people
also
are-
had like 2 burritos today. He like
No. It was shredded chicken.
Ryan
with
here
rice
actually literally eats like 14,000 calories a day.
and- It's 6,000.
That's a shit ton of calories still.
That's not that bad.
It's 3 times the regular human's diet.
No,
It's a lot.
No, it's not.
And yes, it is. 2,000
actually
times
is.
3 is
though? Hold on.
6,000.
You want to hear the crazy thing?
Sure.
I lost 5 pounds last week.
I believe you, but it's still a shit ton of calories when you're talking about.
Well, I have to let the folks know when he got here this morning, with me and GM Drew, the first thing he tells us is like, I was fucking hungry. He's like, I forgot to eat my protein shake before
my
bed.
nighttime protein shake. That's not weird. Okay, it might not be weird in like the strongman circles, but in the nerd circles, it's fucking weird, dude.
In a Goliath gang, that's probably standard operating procedure.
But I can tell you the amount of times that Drew, CJ, or myself have had a nighttime protein shake. It's got to be between the three of us still zero.
A scheduled
It's
nighttime.
a regular occurrence.
Not like I'm really hungry. I'm gonna finish that steak in the fridge.
Well, I have to have it so like while I'm sleeping, I don't wake up and I'm hungry, or like when I wake up in the morning, it doesn't feel like my stomach's.
That's like a super
spine.
first world problem. I have to eat now so I don't wake up hungry.
Yeah.
There's like poor starving kids in Africa. Like, I wish I could eat it all this week.
If they were here, I would give them food. Like I buy plenty of food.
Oh man,
I have to. No, like for
so
real.
if you're listening to us right now and you're in Kenya or Nairobi, like,
we'd love to have you done.
If you'd like to come onto the show so that Ryan can feed you, please form an orderly line. I imagine there'll be a few.
There'll be a 5-gallon jug of water and like a big ass protein shake.
Right.
He'll give you each a teaspoon.
It's milk and protein.
No,
powder.
like,
Here we come.
What was it yesterday for meal prep? I had to make 5 pounds of fajitas in my crock pot.
5 pounds of fajita.
It's almost It's almost gone.
Oh my god!
It was like a day and a half.
You should have seen the look of disappointment on his face yesterday, folks, when he got his McGriddles back and they were just cheese on them.
Man.
He was,
That was
so
so
pissed.
I was
He's
mad.
like, maybe it's just because I'm hungry, but it's like, I think it's because
I-
you're hungry.
like-
Like, go back and get them fixed. Like,
My
no.
morning motto was like, I was like, man, I gotta be in early. I don't have time to cook. I was like, you know what? Treat yourself. I was like, I really want McDonald's. So I went there. I was like, I want McDonald's breakfast. Those McGriddles, they're cocaine.
I love McGriddles.
So I went in there.
I have no shame in eating like
I'm more
pancake
of a
injected with syrup.
I'm more of a sausage biscuit egg man, but go on.
I went in there and I don't like their sausage because it tastes really, really weird. And their bacon there is like cardboard. So I was like, you know what? I just want an egg and cheese McGriddle. And
See,
they're
the
like,
egg
well,
is like the worst part to me because it's like microwave egg.
it's folded egg. It's whatever.
It's actually not, but
It tastes like microwave egg.
it's real egg.
I believe. Well, microwave eggs are real eggs too. They're just prepared differently in a
not
microwave.
really real egg. It's like this like powder water shit that you microwave.
Egg beaters.
Yeah.
So I was like, can I have an egg and cheese McGriddle? And they're like, well, we don't have that. I was like, well, you have egg, cheese, and the McGriddle.
There's no button for that.
Just
on there.
put they're like, no button. I was like, sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle, no sausage. I will pay for the sausage. I don't care. I will pick the sausage off. And they were like, okay. Like,
that's
I
what you
wasn't
should've
rude.
just
So
done.
here's the thing. Like, I wasn't rude to the lady. I was like, well, I go, can I just get an egg or like the sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle with no sausage? And they were like, yeah. So then they handed me my bag. I left. I got to the store. I open it up, and it's literally the McGriddle pancake things and a slice of cheese. That's it. Hold on. The story gets better.
Get wrecked.
That's it. That's all there was. And then Ben, our other employee, texted me, and he was like, hey, man, I'm going to grab some McDonald's. Do you want anything? I was like, yes, I really want an egg and cheese McGriddle, like really bad. So he did the same thing, and they did the same thing to him. They handed him a cheese and 2 pieces of McGriddle. That's
Either
it.
the
The
person
mistake you made was doing it twice, like, and expecting a different result. You should just order a goddamn McGriddle and pick the sausage off.
Here's the thing.
I don't
I wasn't in control of the second time.
People. This is like one of my weird pet peeves about food. People are always like, "Can I get this with like none of? I'd like a cheeseburger, but with no lettuce, no mustard, no ketchup." I'm like, Jesus Christ, just order like a burger. It's like,
I'm sorry, Kyle. I am that guy.
I can't. Like,
I'm like,
I
I want
like
the patty well done with no lettuce.
Right.
Can I get dehydrated onions instead of diced and only 1 pickle?
Right, Jenna. Will
And then
hate
if
me.
it's wrong, I take it back up and make him remake it.
Oh,
Jenna will hate me for this.
you eat a lot
I
of
love her
spit.
very much, but she always does that kind of stuff. She'll be like, "I want this with no tomato or like no pickles," And then it'll come and there'll be like pickles on it. She's like, I don't want this anymore. And I'm like, just fucking take the pickles off.
No, like normally I'm the same way.
I love you, Jenna. Don't be mad at me when you hear this.
Normally I'm the same way. Like I'll just pick the sausage. That's what I thought was going to happen the second time because I thought he was just going to get a sausage.
See, the mistake you made was you told him,
McDonald's,
I just want an egg and cheese McGriddle. You should have said, just get me a McGriddle.
That's true.
All right.
That
well,
was the mistake.
I'm gonna focus us back since we're not a food review.
But Shadespire is a really good game.
Shadespire is a really good game.
I promise. Like our sidetracks aside.
I'm sorry, folks. Everyone at this table, we all really get very passionate about food.
We do. If there was a camera, you would see we're all plus sized. We're festively plump.
Festively plump.
I know you work out, Big Swell, but people are still going to think you're fat.
Oh, I know. I'm fine with that. It's just
like if I put you in a lineup of gamers and there were normal people and you, and you ask the little kid like, which one's the gamer? They're going to point to you. Like that's how that works.
Yeah. I'm with it. I'm just saying like
because he just gave me this like death glare when I said we're all festively plump.
No, I'm a large human being for sure.
Hence why your arms won't go down anymore.
About that Shadespire. It's like
no, that man. Hold on, that manatee in the roller skate thing that hurt, man.
That wasn't me. That was Kyle.
No,
I said
I said it, but you guys set it up.
We did set it up.
You set it up.
I said manatee.
I thought you said that.
No,
I said manatee on a ice skate.
Calling somebody a manatee. All I said was Pam.
You were literally the man that talks about like cutting heads off and eating people all the time. Sorry if I thought that was something that came from you.
It's not my fault. Yeah, I'm a
I'm the one who said the manatee. But you're like a manatee like waddling. I was like a manatee in roller skates, basically.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
I just described how you walk.
I said a manatee on ice.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was GM Drew. Okay.
Spoiler, he couldn't be on ice.
Yeah, you go back and find it.
No,
anyway,
I'm not good on ice at all.
He doesn't do ice, folks.
Not well.
It's like a newborn deer.
So
okay, let's move
So
on.
I've been
Shadespire's
playing
really
a
good.
lot
We're
of
good with
Shadespire.
Shadespire.
Yeah.
I've been playing the Chosen Axes, which are the Fireslayer warband, and holy shit, they're really impressive.
really
they're all really good. They just have to hold an objective to get inspired, so it's basically impossible not to
Your
be inspired.
hero, what's his name with the giant
the hero,
TX?
Fuel Grimnir.
He
Yeah.
basically powers up and he does 4 damage with a hit.
He just one-shots dudes.
He just one-shots like a Stormcast Eternal. Just walks up and just like, dead, cut in 2.
It's so much
It's
fun.
crazy.
Oh my god, it's
My,
because like for what it's worth, to give people a point of reference, prior to that, I was playing the Skeletons, the Sepulchral Guard, and they don't kill anything. They're all like super slow. They move like 2 spaces. They all do like 1 damage and attack. So like you can basically you're sitting there like pattering away at these giant 9-foot tall monsters in plate armor with your shitty skeletons. Like it's a very me warband. Just like basically they
like
look cool, but they're
Thousand Suns
completely
and
ineffectual.
Shadespire.
Yeah, they're just like don't do any damage, and then I basically turned everything up to like 40, like not even 11. I turned it up to 40. It was just like rolling around with these fire slayers, just one-shotting stuff. Oh my god, is it impressive?
They're really good.
Yeah.
So the nice thing about Shadespire, if you haven't played it, is that you just buy your warband. It's balanced against other people's warbands. But you get to design your deck, so there's still an element of how you design and build your force. So you get to customize how you
Yeah, you
play.
can customize like the objectives you want to try and achieve in a game. You can also customize the different like
Abilities you
bonuses,
have.
abilities you'll have. It's really cool. There's a lot of depth to it without having to spend a lot of time building things. Which is
And the
nice.
models are just fantastic.
They are. God, they're such good looking models. They're all easy builds, which is nice. So if you're not a big miniatures person, you don't like a lot of work. They're push fit. You don't have to glue them together. You literally just pop them off a frame and you put them together. Yeah.
It was so good that last week we were meant to do a bunch of painting, and instead we played like 7.5 hours straight of Shadespire.
Yeah, we were gonna get ready for our road to Adepticon, and instead
we played Shadespire all day.
lots of shade. I think part of it too is we were really devastated about the Karajan Overlords, and like I've been like chipping away at Karajan Overlord models, like painting them, and it's just like I feel so uninspired about it because they're so terrible. I really hate to bag on an army, but goddamn, they feel bad. Yeah. Like every time I play them, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like all these other like literally we played against Richard Coles like the other week, and here's like our cool like Karajan or whatever, and he like has frost breathing giant monsters that just like roll up and like all that shit's dead. It's just like what do I do against
like
these
just little
frost
dwarfsicles everywhere.
Yeah, tiny little dwarf corpses all over the battlefield. It was just so disheartening. Like They're really bad.
Well, that I think is a good way to lead us into our new last segment called
Yes.
The Last Word.
The last word.
Which instantly is a cool rule for the Quadrant Overlords that's cool in theory, but...
It's a kind of thing that you might use every once in a while, but still probably won't work.
Yeah, it's basically you can give your ship the name, the last word, and when they charge it gets to shoot at you with one weapon.
One weapon, which you're going to miss with anyway.
You're going to miss with.
Yeah, because you're going to choose the really good weapon, right? You're going to choose the great cannon, but it only hits on a 4, so you're going to roll a 1, 2, or 3.
You know what?
Like
any artillerymen that
so
only hit
bad.
half of the time in any other military service would just be fired.
Yeah, they would be like,
Just
actually, you're a
gone.
cook now.
Yeah.
Like, turns out we don't need you to be an artilleryman anymore if you can only hit half of the time.
So we're just going to kind of go round table and see what people's thoughts are. Let's go reverse. GM Drew, what's the last word?
Yeah.
So I guess I think it's this week. Maybe not till next week. There's a new Kickstarter coming out, and it's not a board game, and it's not a. It's a. We talked a lot about Savage Worlds.
It's an RPG.
It is. It's a.
I knew it.
It's a. It's a skin. It's a sleeve for Savage Worlds called.
Oh, the altered carbon one.
No,
Because that thing's already out.
This one's called Freedom Squadron.
Ooh.
Yes.
So is it like one where you get to dispense freedom to like, let's say third world countries in a sort of like Eastern-y-ish sort of thing?
Yeah, but only protein
Eastern
shakes.
Hemisphere.
Only protein shakes.
So, no, it's a love letter to G.I. Joe from the 80s. You play your character is a part of this special forces team that is going up against the evil terrorist organization Venom.
Oh,
So there's actually already a Savage World setting that is G.I. Joe. Strike Force 7.
Right.
That's actually really similar.
This one's
theirs
brand
is
new.
not
And
Cobra, it's another snake or something like that.
One of the developers at Genghas was talking to me about it. They have this cool mechanic in it. You know how like in all the old 80s movies they'd have that montage of the planning part of a heist or whatever. There's a mechanic built in
to montage.
To montage. It's got a card game within the setting, which was the whole planning the heist Shadowrun-y type of thing.
Well,
I'd be curious to see. Yeah, right. I'd be curious to see what that actually like looks like.
Yeah.
Like an actual. So it's a card game that you use to montage.
There's a cards mechanic within.
Do you have to play like a cool montage-y sort of like song? Like,
I would think so.
Gonna need a montage.
Right.
Montage.
Right.
Even Rocky had a montage.
So that's my last word. I'm really looking forward to that.
All right, Ryan, what's your last word?
I don't look like a manatee.
This is our last word. We're not doing Road to Adepticon.
No, we're doing Road to Adepticon.
Oh, okay, okay.
But the last word for the actual podcast, like Road to Adepticon, is like its own segment.
It's an add-on.
It's like its own entity because that'll go away.
It's
after
an epilogue.
Adepticon.
There's only like 2 or 3 more Road to Adepticons left.
It's an epilogue.
And then what will we get to say like
the road to Omaha.
Right, the road to Buggy. Less exciting, but still kind of important.
Still,
That one's not going to be sponsored by the M1 Grand.
Cheesecake Factory, here we come.
M1 Grand's not going to sponsor. Springfield Armory doesn't need none of that
No.
Bug Eater money, buddy.
Who's gonna sponsor Bug Eater?
Probably like I don't know.
Like Boeing Aviation or something.
Yeah, something.
Union Pacific Railroad.
It'll still be like a defense company, right? That'll be like a less exciting one, right? Like it'll be like Stoger, sponsored by Stoger. We make shotguns.
Makes your MREs, right?
Sponsored by Bob Smith, the maker of the ejection seat.
Right.
You need to get out of a plane quick. Go with Smith's.
But remember to release your
Canopy. If you don't release the canopy, you're gonna crack your head open like Goose.
You're gonna have a bad time.
So you're not a manatee. Anything else?
No. No, now that I've said I'm not a manatee, I'm pretty sure anyone coming up, they're like, look at that manatee.
I know, right? Like, I know
everyone's
now.
gonna be like,
people are gonna hear this and be like,
manatee.
call Ryan a manatee.
And I'm just gonna live it up. It's fine.
Fuck that guy.
No, I don't
so
really have
sorry.
anything against word other than I'm not a damn manatee.
All right.
Drew really let that one out.
I'm sorry.
What?
Drew, do you have 2 copies of Mansions of Madness?
No, one's
base
first
game?
edition.
Oh, okay, gotcha. They're both still in plastic is the best part.
No, those are both open. Those are all expansions.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess those 2 look the same.
I've definitely been staring at your collection of terrain that's never been opened.
Yeah,
And that's an impressively expensive amount of terrain, too.
I know.
Anyway,
What's your last word?
My last word
That's
is,
some nice terrain.
That's a
very
nice
sharp looking stuff.
is that mine's going to be 40K because that's what I do. Adeptus Custodes. God, they're good. They're so good.
They're really good at shit kicking things into submission.
If you need like 10-foot tall superhumans that literally just wade through hordes of lesser beings, you're going to need to play Adeptus Custodes. It's like
Hacking down
they have
peasants.
50 guys. You land with 3 in a teleport strike. Like, we got this. Like,
They're really good.
It's really
and it's not just
good.
any teleport strike. It's a teleport from a God Strike pattern.
God
teleport
strike pattern. I mean, the names are just great. I mean, they're durable. They're
Strike
aggressive.
God Strike pattern Subaru.
Yep.
That's what I have.
I just can't sing their praises enough.
It's a God Strike because it lets you literally stab at the heart of enemy gods.
It does.
Like you can topple
Yeah.
entire belief systems with like a handful of these dudes.
You do. It's like, you need to destroy a world?
You want to shatter your opponent's will to live?
Yes.
Use Adeptus Custodes.
There's nothing more exciting than like, I've got a really cool Space Marine combat unit with 10 guys. You're like, I
Do
brought
you want
one.
to make your opponent regret their entire army decision and countless hours of assembly and painting? Adeptus Custodes.
It's like, do you want to build the army in 2 hours and then rattle can it to get 50% done?
Yeah, right. 2 hours is even a long time to build. I don't even think you need that much necessarily.
So,
You're
folks,
only going to have like 12 models.
try out Adeptus Custodes. They're really good. I love them.
If you just want to make your opponent weep, just sweet, sweet tears of sorrow, Adeptus Custodes are good for that.
Also, the cheapest, I think, army to build right now. Arguably.
They're, absolutely the cheapest army build. You only need like 12 dudes.
Yeah.
Hardly anything. They
If
come
you have an
5
old
to a
Land
box.
Raider sitting around, you're already a
Painted
third of the way
gold.
there.
Yeah, right? Spray paint gold.
Spray paint gold. Done.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Did you buy like 2 of those Battle of Calth boxes? You're basically 75% done.
Yeah.
Get yourself Captain General Trajan Aladdin,
Admiral General Aladdin.
Admiral General, First Order leader of the Custodes, and you're going to be golden.
Grand Poobah also.
Grand Poobah. All right,
Yeah.
Cal, what's your last word?
My last word is going to be really cheesy. I just wanted to take like 5 seconds to say thanks for listening. We really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
You guys make it possible. Please keep listening. Tell your friends about it. We'd like to make this, I think, bigger than it is. And we can't do that without you guys. So we
Although that was an
appreciate-
incredibly shameless plug, I do echo his sentiments. That
Yes.
was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not above plugging it shamelessly.
No,
I mean, it's
we
fun.
do. We like you listening.
But no, I mean it's cool. It literally lets us do something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. So
Absolutely, and it warms our hearts. Like we'll joke a little aside about people coming in, and
I love it when people
quoting-
come in and
yeah.
and talk to me about it.
I will say though, so please
It
come in
warm-
and talk to us
ho-
about it.
warms the heart.
However, give me some context. Like I've had a couple people walk up and they'll be like, "So I really liked what you were saying about Custodes."
Right.
And then I'm like, "When was I talking to you? Who are you?" Like it just completely baffles me.
Sometimes between the time we record this and the time it comes out, we forget what we've said.
yeah,
I
say
definitely
a lot of
have
shit.
run into a couple moments where somebody has said something like that, and I'm like, when did I say that? They're like, literally, I just heard it on the podcast. I'm like, oh, it's now time for you, but it was like months ago in my head for me.
it
Yeah,
was
it's
a
like-
week.
I've been slaying peasants on the roads of Prague. Like, I'm sorry.
Like tell us, like when I heard you on Oracles of Olympus, or even a code word like banana, and then we know to go to like, Oracle.
CJ's code word is banana. Mine's chrysanthemum. Yeah.
What's your
'cause-
code word? Manatee.
No, that it is now.
Is it maybe aquatic bovine instead? Water cow.
Beach land whale.
This is
It's
we're
H2O
really classy.
equestrian, equine. No, like just at least shout banana before you quote us.
banana.
Like banana. Check for semen. Like someone literally came up to me. Chris came up to me the other day and he was like, "Are you gonna check for semen?" I was like, "Pardon?" Like, and he's like, "Do you roll to check for semen?" I was like, "Oh, the podcast." I was like, "What?" There was like at first no context.
You're like, do I need to
was
look at my
like,
sandwich? Is
I
there
was like-
something I'm missing?
I was like,
Was there some on my pants? I don't know.
This is definitely our...
like wiping off your face? What do you mean?
We're moving into the hard R territory now.
But and then luckily I remembered, because I would have gotten real awkward real fast. Where I'm like, huh? Wait, there's semen? No, but yeah, just we love it though. It
is a lot of fun.
It's fun.
And we love talking about it, and like it's definitely cool. We also appreciate every time you guys like, comment, all that stuff. Subscribe, ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Make sure to shout it from the heavens, because we absolutely love it.
But no, it does actually help us a lot.
Yeah, it really does. Like probably one of the best ways to help support the podcast, especially on YouTube, is like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell.
Yeah,
because it adds us.
It shows
higher
us to
up
more
on
people. Yeah,
the algorithm says we're receiving more traffic. So
the algorithm says you're not losers.
Yeah, the algorithm.
I need the approval of the computer.
the robotic overlords.
A random aside, and I know we never get random here off topic.
No, never. We never stray.
I have
it's a
to
really
say,
hard plan.
Accomplice Brewery, which is downtown in the Depot, it's a great place. Love it. Go there. But their computer has responsibility limits on it.
Responsibility limits?
Yes, and so it's like a dystopian future where the computer tells you you've had too much to drink. I never have that problem because I'm a lightweight. But
Challenge accepted, computer.
But the people I was with the other night, they hit their responsibility limit. And it even comes with this nice message. You're like, hey, friend, we think you've reached your responsibility limit. Your card's now been deactivated.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah. And you got to talk to a bartender to get it reactivated.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there are responsibility limits.
Well, what if you go drinking with like
well,
what is
so
it programmed
basically
to?
the computer is your accountability.
Yes, your computer is your accountability.
But here's a question:
Trying to keep you alive.
Here's the thing: like,
Humans are very good at trying to prevent.
What is the program level of like?
I imagine it's ounces in a time period would be my guess, because it measures how many ounces you
but
drink.
it also affects people differently. For like, say, a 7 foot tall, 400-pound man beast versus like a 300 or 3 foot tall like.
You're not 7 feet tall.
I'm not saying I am. I'm showing side by side.
Manatees are only reach 6'5" max.
That's Guinness World Record level.
No, but like, and then or like, and then that giant dude is going drinking with I don't know, a
like
little person,
like 100-pound.
Yeah, like 100.
Yeah.
What if you're sharing a card?
That was kind of my first thought was like you bought
drinking on a
beers for like
tab.
3 people.
Right.
Well, I don't think the responsibility limit cares, and that's why it's dystopian.
That's why it's 1984.
Okay, well, with that, we can probably finish this bad boy up.
All right.
This bad mamma jamba.
Thanks, everybody. We're going to leave you with the road to Adepticon. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Good night.
The Road to Adepticon, brought to you by Charleston Chew, Snacky S'mores, and War Bonds. Buy more War Bonds to keep our boys flying. Also brought to you by the M1 Grand. Stack 'em high, boys. Stack 'em high. Join us on our journey to discovery and army building for Warhammer 40,000 and Age of Sigmar.
We're back. It's the road to Adepticon.
Yeah, without intro.
Without intro. I don't know how technology works. I studied medieval history.
You didn't get some of that, but literally, CJ looks at me and asks me, "Are you going to say the intro?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You're not going to do the thing?" Like he did not get that it was pre-recorded.
No, I had no idea.
Literally every podcast, he's sitting right goddamn next to me. He thinks I do it every time, and I don't. I've only
Me
done
and
it
Ryan
once.
are about to start up the song.
Like we're over here just chanting.
Right? Yeah, you guys do the song in the background.
I kind of just thought you guys might like. I don't know, what's the mouth music people make?
The mouth music? What do you mean?
Beatbox?
Acapella.
Acapella?
Yeah, you guys are like acapellaing this 1940s crap, and Kyle's in the voice.
I think you're thinking of beatboxing.
No, I'm thinking of Aka.
Okay. all
I've
right.
seen all the Pitch Perfect movies.
Well, that's very fair.
I made it to 3. I liked it.
That's
The
all
only
you
question
need.
is, did you watch that movie and get a toner?
What the fuck's a toner?
What? Then you didn't watch the movie. Then you didn't watch the movie.
I don't know. I can't even remember what day it is most of the time. So
Fair enough.
So, Road
Road to Adepticon.
Yeah, they're super on it this week.
It's
Yeah,
the
well,
donuts now wearing off, folks.
So basically,
We're getting-
nothing has really
flighty.
changed in the 40K
We are so
department.
screwed.
We're 24 days away from Adepticon. and boy, are we in deep shit.
Yeah.
We've basically got a little bit done in 40K.
Royally screwed off for the last 2 months.
Yeah, it's not been good. This has been a real bad
Adepticon.
Prep. Yeah.
This is, I think, even worse than Thousand Sons.
It's real bad. Yeah, we're gonna be working a lot. We've totally got some very basic painting stuff done for the Adeptus Custodes parts of our list. Today is paint day. While you're listening to this, it's Sunday today. So we'll probably also be paint day when you hear this. Like, I imagine I'll still be in the shop painting at the same time, like panicking at that point. The real bad part, so we know where we're going with 40K. Everything's basically done. All the models are 100% built. We're like working through painting the custodians and stuff like that. The bad part is we've actually backtracked on Age of Sigmar.
A lot.
We're
basically in full on. We don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah. Kharadron Overlord are really bad. So we're not taking them.
God, they're awful. If
They
you didn't hear the first
beautiful,
part of this and you only went to Adepticon, they're terrible.
They really suck.
But they are pretty.
We're going to take
the only thing they have.
Fire Slayers for half of the army now.
Oh, God.
You say they're good. Fire Slayers are
They're
good.
not bad.
They're good.
Like, both games, you were down to just characters in, 2 turns.
Right, but the reason I'm down to characters in 2 turns is because the other half of my army is Kharadron Overlords. And
You know
there's
what?
no support.
That is a valid point.
There's just no support.
I
So it's
cannot
basically
argue with that.
It's basically a bunch of, cabbages
Yeah.
and one army versus 2 armies.
It's basically a bunch of villagers with potato guns or the
yeah,
Kharadron
right?
Overlords.
They're completely garbage.
They're trying to spray that hairspray in there and get the back closed off in time before it all evaporates.
What are you two gals giggling about over there?
You may hear it in the background.
Yeah, I think we will.
We're playing Words with Friends over here, and there was.
God, way to be productive, guys.
He's like, hey, you can spell snort, you know.
Well, because he kept trying to put torn down, and I was like, you could add another letter. I was like, you double word score.
So I had Ryan snorting in my ear. That was
Yeah,
fun.
I snorted in GM Drew's.
Well, the immature ones are doing their thing. Kyle and I are talking about serious stuff.
Yeah, we're talking about plastic men's.
We're talking about trying to win the world.
Building
again.
our armies.
So we're really. So if anybody has any recommendations, what we should do for AOS, just let us know.
Yeah, we're basically open to any idea at this point. We're desperate. No, I think we have a couple actual ideas in the pipe.
We do.
And we're gonna have to pick one of the 3. I think it's Dispossessed, Chaos Dwarves, or Free Guild
Companies. Yeah.
Or you could play Maggot Kin.
No.
Okay.
There's no.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Sorry.
Nope.
I would play the Snake Ladies if they'd come out on time.
Yeah, they're not available, unfortunately.
No, I would totally take.
You could play the not exciting versions of them. You could play just the Witch Elves.
You know what? We didn't talk about Daughters of Kain in our episode.
We didn't, but there'll be so much to talk about next week. Yeah.
Kain.
Whatever.
Daughters of Cain. It's Kayla Mensha Cain. That is the full name, and that's the correct pronunciation.
Kain.
Just like
You don't pronounce the H in Cain, just like you don't pronounce the T in Zinch. It's not Tazenich. It's
You know
Zinch.
what? I know we've been successful because one of our people corrected me on how to say Custodes and sent the podcast back to me.
I love it.
Yeah, because I was like, the custodians, and you're like, actually, I heard it pronounced it was Custodes. And I was like, well done, sir.
Well played.
Okay.
Well played. Do as I say, not as I do.
We're doing God's work here.
Yeah.
Foiled by his own hubris.
But 40K, God help us, we're gonna
get a lot done today. I'm positive. I still have
as long as you and I don't go on a Shadespire
binge.
Yeah.
Well, the entire
A
team is
fest.
getting together. The entire team is getting together today, so we'll have our other friends to keep us on track.
Yes.
And if the second they go home, then we'll play Shadespire.
Yes. Outcome Shadespire.
Take that productivity. Between
like-
Shadespire and Kingdom Come Deliverance.
It's like
I'm
taped
not,
under
I'm not
the
doing a
table.
lot right now.
We're gonna play
The
Thousand
Shadespire
Suns.
boards are taped under the table
No, we're
as soon
not.
as they walk away.
I give it like a 30% chance we're gonna play Thousand Suns.
No way we're going to play Thousand Suns. We're going to get this army done.
You say that every year, and then there's like the last 24 hours is like this mad panic of just like people wanting to
Richard
kill
Coles
themselves.
will literally murder us if we end up playing Thousand Suns.
I'll be honest, I've known him a long time, and he's almost killed me 4 or 5 times, and I'm still alive.
Yeah, but the 6th time could be the charm.
Could be, but I like to live life dangerously.
That's fair.
It's basically when you have Richard Coles on your team, it's like playing Russian roulette. Like you keep
he's so
spinning
angry.
that chamber and putting it in, and anytime it might go off and blow your brains out. But you 5 out of 6 times, you're good.
I like the composition of our team this year.
It's a good team.
It's a good team. We've got 40K Rain Man Ace.
Yeah.
He had to get his mandatory podcast mention.
Although losing Nick Cadman was a big blow.
Losing Nick was big
because
yeah,
he's
I do.
literally an inhuman painter.
Nick is like unreasonably fast at painting. It makes me sad.
It's shockingly fast. He's the kind of guy that'll like buy the models when you open your store, and then that evening come in and be like, guys, look at the whole squad I finished today.
Yeah,
like,
right.
What
like,
the fuck?
I hate you because I'm the opposite speed of painter.
Oh, me too.
I'm very slow.
I've gotten progressively slower every year.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The weird thing about Nick's painting too is he's incapable of painting sloppy. Like everything is just neat and neat.
He's really good.
And he
lines.
doesn't like chip weathering, which is his main flaw in life.
He does not like. I don't think he likes chip weathering. Yeah.
He doesn't like weathering.
I don't think he likes weathering either. Yeah. Because his Sons of Horus, beautiful army, but like for the longest time, there's no weathering whatsoever.
No, they're not all coming out of the forge, Nick. If you're listening to this, buddy, you need weathering. We'll have you on to talk about it.
We could have like a segment where we just do like arguments of weathering, like whether you should or not, and like.
Well, it'll kind of be prosecutorial, like adversarial. I'll prepare my like formal oral argument about why you should weather everything, and I will let them try and defend.
You could probably have
you three be my appellate judges.
You could probably have Richard Coles on there for weathering too.
Yeah,
because I know
weather.
RC does weather.
He does,
but he's very particular about his weathering.
He is. Not me, folks. I just pick out a sponge and I fucking go to town. Like, yep, they got hit in the forehead of their helmet with a rock.
With a rock.
I'm talking like, this is like, my troops are fighting in like Palestine, like dirty street level fighting. Like, these are poor Israeli troops going door to door where they're getting pelted with bottles of Molotov cocktails by Palestinians.
All of CJ's Marines take a tour of duty in the Gaza Strip.
They do. That is why there is chipping everywhere.
That's all I got. Well,
Ryan, you want to comment anything on the Road to Adepticon?
We gotta actually go and start working on that.
Oh God, help us!
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
Hopefully, by the time you listen to us, people in the future still blows my mind.
Present when they're listening.
Then. No, it's the future. They're listening to us in the future.
No, it's the future to you, but it's the present to them now.
That doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense.
I do not understand that.
Shit.
So
you're not thinking future in the fourth dimension.
Future listeners, hopefully we're going to have more done.
Well, we guaranteed we'll have something done by then.
When you're listening to this, then models will already have been finished in the future. It's really fucking with me. Let's cut it there. So I just don't get it.
Goodbye, everyone.
See you next week.
Bye, folks.